Hello, and welcome to another episode of Scavenger Life. This is episode number 503 at scavengerlife.com.
Your sister just came into town for the weekend and hung out with us.
Yeah, it was cool.
I feel like it re-energized you.
Oh,
Yeah.
It's nice to have people from out of town because, we haven't been able to travel very much or at all. So,
Yeah.
And them too, her and her boyfriend came down and they delivered a bunch of raw coffee to us, but also hung out and did stuff. But it was funny. They were like, we haven't been anywhere in a year.
I really feel like as the vaccine rolls out, there's just going to be an explosion of just
wanting to go places.
Everyone wanting to go out and be together and eat out.
Go to a restaurant.
Just be around each other.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah.
I agree. I definitely felt that when they were here. I was like, oh, this is what it's usually like.
I know,
right?
Nice. We actually went out to eat in kind of a place with where they separated people out.
Yeah, it was really distanced.
Right.
Huge ceilings.
Probably like the first place we ever...
We have not eaten in a restaurant in a year. And it was so nice. I was like, this is so nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, so we definitely... I forget how much we've been missing. I'm like, well, we usually eat at home and we're pretty frugal and we don't travel unless we're working and I'm like, I miss it.
Yeah. And it's nice. It's nice too to talk to someone she knows kind of our life.
Yeah.
In
she knows
full
what
detail.
We're doing, yeah.
Not that we keep things secret, but I'm sure, I don't know if other people are like this, but when you're a scavenger.
Yeah.
People don't really care or understand about selling on eBay
or
or don't kind of grasp how it's in real business. You're making real money that pays all your real bills. And so, there's a lot of people that know us who just, don't know this part of our lives, like selling online.
And how much of a big part it is.
Yeah. Or they've heard about, don't you guys sell some things on eBay? We're like, yep, but
yeah.
So it's cool. Your sister actually knows.
She knows all our businesses.
Yeah, and she knows how hard we've worked and what we're doing, and it's cool to be able to see that. I felt seen.
Yes,
I felt
very much so.
I felt like I was seen.
We always joke that my sister's like, you guys, because she sees what we're doing. I guess she kind of was like that.
And that building on Main Street that we're renovating, she saw it, I don't know, a year ago or something.
A long time ago.
So she, it was nice to see in someone else's face the acknowledgement of the amount of work.
Yeah.
I will say I was working at the building this week, and it's right on Main Street, USA.
Yes, Main Street, USA.
And I was in my dirty clothes, pulling stuff up from the basement.
Right.
And a guy drove by in a truck.
Yes.
And he shouted at me, "Trash Elves!" And just
who was it?
I don't know.
It must be someone who listens to this podcast.
Maybe it's someone that hears this. It's he was his truck had the name of a local company.
That's so funny.
So I don't know. I hope
people are just gonna be what?
I hope one day he stops and says hi
and gets a coffee.
Yeah, on Main Street, USA.
Yes, Main Street, USA. Jay loves to say that. every day we're taking our walk on the Greenway, which is you walk by our building. We go from our building and walk past it, whatever. And Jay's like, look at that building. It's our building on Main Street, USA.
Doesn't it make you feel like you're part of the American experiment? we are small business owners.
Yes.
On Main Street, USA. Contributing to the social fabric of a little small American town.
Yeah. I absolutely feel like that. I just don't have to say it every time we walk by the building. just saying. So weird.
I never thought I would own a building.
A building? Any building? A house?
Anything? Number one, I never thought I would own a building, a house, or any of that. But number two, just also on Main Street, USA.
No, it's cool. We own a handful actually at this point of buildings on Main Street, USA.
And a lot of it is because we started to sell the detritus from
Main Street, USA,
from American American
the American waste
/ abundance
waste stream.
Choose your poison.
Yeah.
I'm hesitant to ask you this.
Oh boy, that's like everything.
Ready for like
sure.
Deep philosophical?
Yeah, I'm always ready.
In your life, so I met you when you were 25. Before I met you, and then after I met you, has there ever been a time in your life where you felt lost? Like where you didn't know, you woke up and you were just like, I know exactly what I'm doing it. Or have you felt like...
No, not lost.
That's amazing.
I don't know. It's just not in my personality. It's just not...
Yeah.
Look,
I thought you were going to say that.
Yeah, there are times where I'm like, what's the right decision and what path to move down? You know, you're at the fork in the road.
Yeah.
But never, ever. Right. Nope. It's just not part of me.
Because I know when we've been together, we've kind of had a fairly straight line of just like getting stuff done.
Yeah.
We kind of, have tried different things, but they're all kind of moving in the same direction. I think that's of building on things every day and then things growing.
I think that's why when you and I met, I was like, I remember saying to my roommates, because we would like, so we met through videos on the internet before YouTube. And I would show them your videos.
Or Bumble or whatever.
Yeah, or any of that.
Tinder.
Whatever, like anything like that, right? So I would show them your videos and they're like, they would joke with me. They're like, oh my God, he's just like you. Like, we just were into the exact same things. We were like very forward focused and like, like we produced an international, like within like 2 months of being together, we produced an international like conference on video blogging. Cause like, that's what you do when you meet someone, right? So like, obviously things like that are very telling into the future of our relationship and who we are. I think you're like that. I mean, I think you have maybe experienced, in quotes, being lost or being directionless a little bit more than me.
Yeah, I definitely have had a bit of a roundabout journey. I think I've always been a pretty focused person, but at the same time, I had a long period of time in my life, or it felt like a long time, when I was pretty like, I have a lot of energy. I mean, like I'm directing at things, but none of this makes sense.
Yeah.
And so I feel like I was thinking that this week, like when we were hanging out with your sister, I really love the focus we have, and I love that we wake up and we know exactly what to do for the most part, and it really is a gift. I know I meet people even now, people older than I am, people my age, younger, who just seem kind of
directionless, and
that's fine. Look, honestly, part of those years in the wilderness I had were kind of important, just learning about it's myself and learning about the world and just like
knowing what the difference is between wanting to do stuff and doing it and not knowing what you want. You know what I mean? Like look, I mean, there have been times for me where you'll think you want to do something and you go in that direction and you're like, no. Job wise or whatever, you're like, this is not for me. And then for me, I don't sort of sit around and be like, what do I really want to do? Right. No, I'm just like, I'm going to do this other thing. Go.
Yeah. Well, like when we're talking with your sister, she has a lot of ideas, and it really is, what it comes down to is just like commitment.
Well, doing stuff.
Just like committing to an idea and just doing it,
Yeah.
And it's just like with eBay, we get people joining our little online group, and they're like, I'm starting to sell on eBay. It's like, cool, like it's
like there's no secrets.
Yeah, I mean, you can watch a handful of videos online, and it kind of tells you how to do it. Like it's not complicated.
Yeah.
It's all about the commitment.
It's the work. It's just about the work. It's just about the work. Right. Like period. Like end of story.
Yeah, like we were talking about. In one of our forum posts, someone was talking about selling patches.
It's such a funny conversation.
It's like, we talk about different stores. You can start a whole eBay store on a niche. Like I'm selling
patches.
shoes,
postcards,
or or ephemera,
shoes.
you know, and one of those are patches, you know, like
I love patches,
ski patches, and
Boy Scout patches, old trucker hat patches,
or
tons of stuff.
Or people sell like beer cans, you know,
right?
So,
Sure.
But patches, and there's one guy that someone was showing who sells like, I don't know, something ridiculous, like. They sell like 6,000 patches a month.
That's so crazy.
I don't know if that number's right, but it was, and we were trying to break down how long it would take to put up that kind of stuff. And it's like, you'd have to be working 8 hours a day, 5 days a week, doing like 40 items an hour, you know? and someone's like, oh, I can do that. But I'm like, can you do that? Every day, every hour, day after day, day after day. It's just like you have to be a machine. You know? I don't know. So,
and do you want? I mean, so the question is, look, and I think this honestly goes back to what you're saying about my sister, where I think she looks at us. I mean, we're on the precipice of opening this cafe. We're like right on the borderline here of like unlocking the doors. And she's just kind of like...
The doors to perception.
She's kind of like, do I want to do that? Like, do I want to work that hard? Because we had that conversation with them. Because they wanted to open a cafe before up in Massachusetts. Yeah. And they even said to me, they're like, we saw all the things we had to do to make it happen. And we were like, no.
Yeah.
And so, it's like that with the same conversation you're having about this, like, niche or whatever. And you're just like... Yeah, that's not what I want to do for my business. Yeah. I need, like, breathing room.
Yeah.
Or something.
Well, I guess I also bring this up because even before we did this podcast, we had a little bit of we were kind of grinding gears against each other.
Oh, really? No, just kidding. Yes, I know.
I think that when I annoy you and I'm like, so, hey, what are we doing? Like, we need to do this. Like, let's get it in order. Like, there's a process we need to have here. And you're just like, shut up.
Yeah.
I don't want to hear it. Because I know what it's like to just live your life kind of lost, where like you chaos. Don't have, and I do not take the focus we have for granted. Because, and I do get afraid of like we will kind of, whatever, have too much stuff going on or lose interest in certain things, and just you start to lose focus, and then it just becomes, I get. I mean, I've seen people like that where you're like, what happened? Like you had all this cool stuff
and then
going
it just
on,
like collapsed.
Like you built this whole thing, and now it's just kind of like sloppy and messy and just like, I don't know.
Okay, so I think the reason why I am getting frustrated with you is because honestly, I am organizing our eBay stuff every day.
Right.
And I don't think that you realize that I'm doing that.
I do realize
that.
Well,
realize it right now.
I'm realizing it.
Because I have to pack and ship stuff, put stuff away from my helper, which you constantly are like, I'll help you, and then you don't.
Wait.
So I will just say this. I do it every week. I do it almost every day. So to have you be like, we need a process. I'm like, I have a process, and I do it every day. Okay. And it's not totally seeable, like, oh, the entire office is clean now. It's like stuff is constantly coming in and out of here. So that's my frustration with being like, we need a process. I'm like, I have one, and I do it every day. So there's that. However, we do have a absolute 2 truckloads worth of inventory that we just got in.
Okay. A couple of things. People are getting a window into our...
yeah, I think that's fine.
This is fine. So you're kind of talking about 2 different things. Today, when I was talking about the process, I was talking about the process of this building we're doing, just to be clear. So I was trying to get the process on that done, because things have to get done. As far as eBay goes, yes, I know. You are in charge of handling our helper, just like I'm in charge of handling like the guy that's helping us renovate this building.
Yes.
Which is why I need help with the process. I'm very grateful what you're doing with this eBay business. And I have said, if you need help bringing stuff down, you just have to tell me.
Okay. So in terms of like renovation, I feel like with eBay, you're like, we got to make sure we do it. But I'm not like that with the building stuff. I'm like, just you know what to do. Like, I don't have to be in charge of that. Like, you're in charge of that. Go do it. Like, I am not, like, keeping tabs on you.
Okay, you say that. But you know also when things get done in the way you don't want them, then you have an opinion. So I like to have some transparency as to what's going on.
That's
because
fine.
I have found that people don't like surprises. No one really likes
they
surprises.
Don't. That's true.
That's why.
Well, I don't think there's a perfect answer, and I also think it's tough with eBay because it permeates our house. Like, I'm looking around our house, and it just things come in and they go out, and then they come in and they're on the porch. And
that was a thing with me yesterday talking about, like, I need a process for this eBay stuff because suddenly we have a lot of stuff in our house.
Yeah.
We decided we don't want our house to become like storage. So that's all I was bringing up. And I went into the eBay office and it's
chaotic. There's a lot of stuff.
So I was just like, let's spend some time tomorrow, like working together and like deciding, are we actually selling this? Are we maybe going to sell this later and I'll put it away? And that's all I think want to do. I think that, do you know how it is? Things start becoming invisible, like little debt piles just become invisible.
They are. There's like corners of my office that I'm like, I don't even, what is that?
Right.
It's been sitting there for 6 months.
I have clear eyes. I have fresh eyes. I'll come in there. And I'll help.
Yeah.
Make decisions, clean it up so everything's cleaner, fresher.
I think what's hard about my helper sometimes is I have to be like so specific about some things because he is. I mean, I understand why. He's like, this object is a mystery to me and I don't know what you want.
Right.
And I'm so busy that I can't be there to direct him all the time.
Right.
So I get a little overwhelmed where I'm like, yeah, here's a cool thing that I want to sell. And also, like, I don't have time to even deal with it. So here's some mugs instead.
But I just need to hear that. So if you're feeling overwhelmed at any point, I need you to tell me and ask for help.
Yeah.
And then I will come help you.
You better come help me.
I will.
Don't do it.
Has there ever been a time, real talk here, has there ever been a time when you said, I need help?
No.
And I have not shown up.
Although you will jokingly be like, no, which I absolutely hate because I'm like,
okay,
don't do that.
But that's different.
You're like, no, I'm not going to help you.
I'm making a bad joke.
It's a terrible, the worst joke possible.
You know that I live for organization.
I know.
And I want you to invite me over to help organize. And I'm always trying to find that balance of like staying out of your process versus also coming to like be a healthy part of like making the process better.
Yeah.
It is a constant battle with it.
It's just also like, I wish that I could honestly just put eBay down for like a month because there's so much happening on the other businesses that I'm just like.
I mean, but see, this is a reasonable thing to talk about. I mean, we could, because our helper is not like a full time. It's just like after school kind of thing. We could put him off for a week, or a month.
Yeah, but it's hard to do that because I don't want him to be like, oh, I found something out. Because like I really need his help.
I know, but I mean, but that's a reasonable thing to talk about. I mean, if we feel like taking a month-long break from him taking more photos is important, we can just risk that. I mean, it wouldn't be the end of the world, you know.
Yeah.
I don't want to feel like you're, forced to have him be able to keep taking pictures.
Yeah.
But
I don't know the answer.
Yeah.
But we got a lot going on. Break it in half and share it.
Hand it over, break it in half.
That's Jay's like new phrase. I don't know where he got it. He's like, if you're worried or stressed, break it in half and share. It's like a Snickers bar. I'm not sharing my Snickers bar.
I mean, look, this has been the story of our relationship is just both of us take on a lot of stuff and sometimes we both like internalize these things and, we have to not like let things fester or,
I think also like what I struggle with too is that I'm like, oh, I can do all this stuff and I want to do all this stuff and like this stuff, like you said, when there are some people who are like, oh, I had this great business, but I just got busy doing other things. So I just like stopped and I don't want to do that. I'm like, I don't want to just be like, eBay, whatever. Yeah. It's like, no, that's like a huge part of our income. So you just, in startup mode with the cafe is like, a serious lot of like little tiny details that it's one of those things where you're like, I want to get it done because if I don't do it now before we open, it's just going to get lost like in the process of opening and being open every day.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
But it's like we talked about a week ago. I mean, a lot of this is just like solving problems right in front of our faces,
Yeah.
Okay, well,
okay.
Thank you for this
on-air arguments.
This therapy session.
Yeah.
I was thinking too, it's interesting, I do our numbers every day, just kind of keeping track of our money in, money out, cash flow.
Yeah,
just
thank God.
Sure
I appreciate that you do that.
I never...
Because I don't want to do that.
Right. And just so it's clear, I do it mainly for myself, for my own sanity, so I can sleep at night.
I'm so glad.
But I'm glad I can also, that you can rely on me when I tell you we're okay, that we're actually okay. So lately I've been seeing, probably in the past 6 months it started doing this. Mm-hmm. Really when managed payments started, when eBay started putting our profits directly into our bank account.
Right, like this is what you made, everything's been taken out.
We actually made like a separate bank account for eBay money to go into. Mm-hmm. And before eBay, I was always seen as like the money that would just pay for our monthly bills. It's kind of like it would cover our daily life.
It's like the base level.
And then the money we now make from our rentals was like, not fun money. This is not fun, but like the money we can spend to like buy other properties or to renovate or to grow.
To invest in other businesses. We're not buying Teslas,
right?
As we can be clear about. Although I would like to.
That we'd like to. So in the past 6 months with managed payments coming on, eBay's more becoming like our savings account. Like I try and save all that eBay money up, and our rental business is now paying for our just life and everything else.
Okay.
And it's kind of interesting,
Yeah.
And it kind of feels like I think how some people are doing it where they have like a full-time job that kind of pays for their life, and then their eBay money pays for their vacation or their kids' college or their car or whatever. Mm-hmm. So, I don't know. I wanted to share that with you.
So it like switched.
Yeah.
Is that what you're saying?
Yeah.
I'm like, am I getting the gist of that?
Yeah, you are. So, okay. I mean, eBay is important in our like life because it's kind of giving us like a big cushion now as that money builds up to like do whatever we all want to do, or if we ever wanted to take a break from doing anything we could.
I love that idea. I do.
All right. Would you like to hear the snapshot of this week?
Yeah.
From our eBay business?
So my sister got here Wednesday night and stayed till this morning, which is Sunday. So I've just been I've been packing in the mornings and stuff. But I also roasted coffee this week, so I'm kind of like, what happened on eBay? I saw it happen and I was a part of it, but I wasn't really paying attention.
We sold 42 items on eBay. 6 items a day.
Yeah, that sounds right.
That's not zero.
No, that's a lot. That's a lot, actually.
Our gross sales, including eBay fees, shipping, and taxes, was $1,916. Pretty good.
Yeah.
Okay, but what happens when you take away the fees and shipping and taxes? $1,350. Yep.
That's pretty good.
Yeah, I mean, like all those eBay fees is really about 25% or so, after everything. Great thing is our cost of items sold on those 42 items is like $51.
It's not that much.
It was a lot of just weird old things we've had for a long time.
Right.
I'm like, wow.
A set of plates, which I don't want to pack because they're dinner plates. I was like, a set of plates for $30? They're 10.5 inches wide and there's 6 of them. Why did you take that offer? Jay took that offer.
Real quick.
We've had
it was up for $39.
Oh, really?
I took a $30. So
those are old because
don't list things cheaper.
Well, those are old, and we took pictures on the kitchen table that hasn't been here for 2 years. Those are the kinds of things that you're like, okay.
Somebody in Brooklyn, New York.
Yeah, those are pretty nice.
Main Street, USA. So our highest price was another one of those, a brooch. Is that what you call them?
Yeah, it's like a brooch. It's a Wedgwood brooch, right. And it's kind of a cameo. It wasn't shelled, so if it's Wedgwood, it's made of like porcelain. Okay. But it's kind of in the same look.
Right. Cameo.
It's literally called like cameo porcelain or whatever. Jasperware. It's got a million different names. But that sold for over $100. It's so funny. I've had those for so long, and all of a sudden,
2 sold. Yeah,
but 2 for both over $100. Yeah. So I don't know. It's funny. Someone in Russia.
It's like we talk about those things kind of come and go into styles. So
someone must have mentioned it somewhere or whatever. Like someone was wearing one on TV or something.
We sold a blazer, a Pendleton knockabout blazer. For $25. We've had that because you are modeling it.
It's so long.
With short hair. We probably had that for 8 years.
And you know what's sad? This past few months ago, someone bought it and returned it because they didn't like the size. So this is the second time I've sold it. I'm like, I hope they like it. Yeah. It's a cute jacket.
We sold 3 of these, like, I guess it's a wood print, like a Japanese.
It's Chinese. They look Chinese to me. These wood block prints. We have like 6 of them. 6 of them. We sold 3 of them
for $75 each.
$75 each to the same lady.
Not bad.
I love a sale like that.
Yeah. And one thing that I'm sure you enjoyed shipping was like a candelabra, a crystal 3-arm.
with those like dangling crystals. I was like, I can't believe. So I have 3-day handling. Well, I
sold it $100. So
it's $100, so I don't mind. Yeah. But I have 3-day handling, and I waited till the last minute to ship that thing. I was like, I do not. But actually, it honestly wasn't bad. I wrapped it in bubble wrap a lot. I put it in a box, and then I put peanuts, and I double boxed it, and it was like you look at something, you're like, oh god, and then you pack it in like 10 minutes, and you're like, oh, that wasn't bad at all. Actually, watch it get broken. I
want to say that the corporation appreciates all the work you do, shipping,
poor Jay,
packing.
I'm like,
not poor Jay.
I'm like, every morning I wake up. And I ship, I organize, and I get ready.
I don't want you to ever feel like anyone is ungrateful or takes that for granted.
And then
we each do things in our life here where the other one doesn't really probably acknowledge quite as much as they should.
Yeah.
It's fine. But yeah, no.
I think also
you are the engine of that part of the business for sure.
And I list everything. I think that's part of it is I have 250 scheduled listings. I wake up in the middle of the night because I'm losing sleep because we're about to open a cafe. Not in a bad way, but I'm like, hey, I'm thinking about this thing.
It's like anxiety, performance anxiety.
It's not anxiety of fear and scary. It's just sort of oh, I'm thinking about this thing and the details, and I'm just going to get on my computer and list for 2 hours until the sun comes up. So that's what I've been doing. But, yeah, so, there's a little bit of that anxiety where I'm like, oh my God, I'm so far behind. And we have it was a couple days ago, I had listed a few pretty unique, weird, bizarre items, and they sold right away. I think we talked about it in the last podcast. I had these high dollar weird items, and it was sale, sale, sale. I'm like, okay, that makes me feel better about listing in the middle of the night. But it's stuff's just sitting there, not for sale. So
yeah,
even though we have 7,000 other items.
But that being said, because of our focus. Our eBay business is still being continuing. Really,
there's no stop.
It's so strange how we have no control over who buys what and how much stuff buys. We really don't.
You have no control
other than
it.
Doing the normal things of good photos and prices and good descriptions. But other than that, we don't have something we can pull and things sell more. It is amazing to me how consistent our income is week in and week out. It's really unbelievable.
I had a friend of mine who knows all the businesses we run ask like, oh, well, once you open the cafe, are you just going to like stop doing eBay? And I was like, no, what? Why would you even suggest that? You know, and of course a normal person's like, well, if you have another job, aren't you going to like stop one of your other jobs? I'm like, no, I'm going to like get 5 more different businesses. What are you, nuts?
Well, you know, it's like we built this pipeline, and once that pipeline stops,
I don't want to stop the pipeline.
I know. I mean, I've seen those people who are like, yeah, I used to have an eBay business, and then it stopped because of whatever health reasons or a job or whatever, something happened, and then I'm trying to get started again. I just I don't want to do that.
Yeah, and I agree.
I think once we ever stop doing this, it's like we will actually stop. I'll just sell off everything we have to some
an entire warehouse for sale,
and then start a new life.
Here's my store.
But
yeah,
that'll never happen.
No, it'll never happen. We'll sell on eBay till death.
So good news is we had no customer issues this week.
Nope, no issues. I don't even think I had any returns.
It was just like people asking questions, us answering questions. It was nice.
Yeah.
Okay, let's go to the questions or comments that people sent in this week.
Okay, you can email us an audio file. Our email is thescavengerlife@gmail.com, or you can call our voicemail line. The phone number is 540-407-8486. You have 3 minutes to leave a message.
Hello, Ryan and Jay. It's Liz from Columbia, Missouri. Wanted to say thank you so much for mentioning cottagecore. I had no idea what it was, but I've listed several dresses on eBay and one on Etsy. So that was good. I also checked out Depop. That was new for me. I remember when you shared Magnolia Pearl. This is valuable information, so I just appreciate it so much. Still enjoying my Cameroon coffee. It's been wonderful. Thanks again. You guys have a good day. Keep up the good work. Bye.
Cottagecore.
Yeah, you know, all these, you know, it's new names that people
Vaporwave aesthetics.
Yep.
Guys. And Vaporwave.
And what was that other thing she was talking about? She said we had talked about another...
Oh, Magnolia Pearl, which is a designer / like person
who sells
like
stuff. Gauzy, like you're in a haunted house kind
It's just Google it. I think it's a person, like you can't use that as a term because it's like shabby chic. It's like trademarked.
Yeah.
I think Magnolia Pearl is like a person who's a designer. Okay. So you can't be like, unless you're selling something of hers.
But it's like a style, like
it's just
that she has.
Kooky, nutty. But if people are into it, I use Vaporwave on some Vaporwave Normcore.
That's kind of like the Vaporwave was like 80s, like fluorescent colors and
and like weird graphical interface things. Yeah. If you Google it, you're like, oh yeah.
It's a hot thing right now.
It's funny. It's weird. It's also a music genre. Makes no sense. Yeah. But, so it is, if anybody has, like, weird keyword things going on, C-punks. That's, like, so 2010.
C-punks?
C-punks.
C as in, like...
The ocean.
Oh, really? Oh,
you don't know C-punk? Oh, my God.
So. I don't think so.
How are you not cool? Wow.
I don't know if we get C-punks in Texas. I don't know.
I said that's so 2010. You lived here in 2010 in Texas. Hey, there is the sea in Texas. Anyway, that's the only call we had.
Okay, so thank you for sitting through. So I think that's the first kind of real like argument we
I think we could go back in the archives and find.
I think we were very good about actually working it out.
I could see it in your face that you are about to. I knew that if you saw me get any more elevated than that, you were going to be like, "You need to cut this out of the podcast," which is what normally happens. One of us says, "I'm cutting this out."
Yeah.
Oh my God.
You're absolutely right that I was someone like that because sometimes when we talk, there's not a lot of
listening
going on, and so we have to cool off.
I know.
Cool off a little bit.
I did want to say that our last caller did mention Cameroon coffee. Mm-hmm. My sister and her BF, Bill, brought Cameroon from Vermont. So now we have a big old stack of Cameroon raw beans. I roasted some last week.
Green beans.
Green beans. They're ready to be roasted.
Pinto beans are raw beans.
Well, raw green coffee beans. Cameroon rocks.
And so this is just an archive for ourselves of how we're feeling. This cafe will be opening. I'm not going to put a date on it.
No, it's soon.
So soon. We're like at the last yard line.
It's
like the last dunk bucket is going to be.
Dunk bucket.
is going to be dunked. We're so close.
Yeah.
So it's very exciting,
Yeah.
And that we will soon own a business.
Oh, don't even. This is the name of the podcast. Main Street.
On Main Street, USA.
It's like a 1980s vaporwave show on Disney Channel.
We are becoming a thread in the fabric of American culture.
Yeah.
Through our own hard work, determination.
Is this a motivational seminar? It really sounds like it.
You can buy my book for $14.99. Anyway, if you would like to support us, just in case you are, we would like you to support us by buying our coffee. You can buy it at broadporchcoffee.com. 10 different coffees from around the world that is roasted in Luray, Virginia by our partner Phil, or more and more by Ryan Hudson.
Yep, that's me.
Yep.
I be roasting.
Right. As the assistant apprentice roaster.
Yep, I'm the apprentice roaster. Doing it.
All right.
Okay.
This podcast is ending in
3, 2, 1. Bye.